And hi everyone, this is modulistack, and this is a Protoss versus Protoss, and I will be telling you about strategy versus tactics. Okay, Bunke, I guess dropped out of the game. Bunke, so up here at the top as the yellow Protoss we have Nani, otherwise known as Naniwa, and over here on the left side is the red Protoss we have Mana. Of course, both of these amazingly good Protoss players. Yes, this is another PvP. Sorry if you hate PvP, but I've been finding it kind of fascinating lately, to be honest. 9 Pylon going down for Nani and going down for Mana. So what I'm going to be focusing on in this game, again, is this difference between strategy and tactics. So a lot of players get very preoccupied with one or the other. Either they learn a build really well and execute it perfectly, but then have no idea what to really do with the units coming out of that build, and they just sort of A-move, and then they die, and then they go into the forums and complain about imbalance. And then on the other hand, you have a lot of players, maybe even more players, who have some kind of rudimentary strategic idea, like, I'm gonna 4-gate this guy, you know, just gonna make a bunch of units and kill him. And they focus so much on the tactics that they totally miss out on the strategic elements and don't really know how to transition or tech switch or things like that. And sometimes macro terribly. I've been reviewing a lot of games lately where players can be really good at micro, but their micro is actually distracting themselves more than it's doing damage to their opponent. Okay, let's see. Gateway is going down. Looks like slightly faster gateway from Naniwa. So I do believe we had a 12 gate from Nani and a 13 gate from Mana. So little deviations there. What could Nani be thinking? Oh, I see. It's a rush for cybernetic score. So got a very fast cybernetic score. This is cool. To just get gateway on 12, immediately get cybernetic score. It's a really fast core. He'll get that warp gate extra soon, but he will actually get supply blocked here at 18 for just a little moment while he waits for this pylon to finish. Just a little bit. It's a pretty small cost, but that is an economic cost that you incur by rushing the cybernetic score. Meantime, everything going smoothly for Mana, who is 1 probe ahead, or some fractional number of probes ahead. Look at that. Chrono Boost going down, getting some units out, Zealot and Stalker, as quickly as possible, and Chrono Boosting the cybernetic score. In the meantime, Nani has gone for a significantly earlier second gas than his opponent. Let's see what this is for. And there's the second gateway. So he's actually saving some Chrono Boost. I don't know if he was forgetting about it or didn't want his opponent to see it or something, but Chrono Boost going down on the warp gate. Gateway on the way. And Mana going up to 3 gateways. So we're going to start to see the beginnings of the plans for our 2 players. Notice second gas just now, 27. In this matchup, that is a quite late second gas. And I'm not sure how much Nani's scout saw of that, but has to be wondering what is going to happen. 3 more gateways going down from Nani, so this is going to be a 4-gate. It's yeah, it looks like it is that 4-gate where you sort of supply block yourself at 26 to crank these gateways out. Reasonably normal, but it does cut into your economy just a tad, just a little bit. Quick sentry out, and that's a good way to make use of that earlier gas. Now, in the meantime, Twilight Council. Let me go back to the production tab. Twilight Council going down for Mana. So, let's see. What does he have out in the field? Stalker. So what is he going to be doing with this Twilight Council? This could mean a number of different things. He could be going for Charge, which would be a little bit weird, but certainly not out of the question. He could be going for Blink, and it looks like warping in some more Stalkers. So quite likely we are going to see a quick Blink, and it had better be pretty quick since Naniwa does have his 4 gateways up. The question is, what does he see? I'm not sure. He might have been chased out of the center by this Stalker. By the way, a lot of lower-level players, and I guess I mean like mid-diamond and below, a lot of players underestimate the value of having good map vision. And we see Mana does not. He was actively getting control of this. When he only had 2 units, he was still actively keeping control of this. Okay, so robotics on the way for Naniwa. I cannot say I completely understand this choice, but I think he was aware of how many units Mana had out on the map and realized that he couldn't really just run up and kill him, which is the usual mentality of the 4-gate. But robotics is now on the way. Fairly small number of units, but notice 2 sentries out, and this is kind of reasonable. He's got enough gateways that if there were an emergency, he could rally up a lot of troops pretty fast. On the other hand, these sentries can force field the bottom of his ramp to delay whatever's coming, and this robotics facility is not going to go to waste either. He's going to get an immortal out, and that is just fine if you think you're going to be going against a lot of blink stalkers, which is just what is happening. Now, I want to point something out, which is no battles have occurred yet. Looking at units lost tab, I guess they've each killed the other one's scouting probe, maybe something like that. But no battles have occurred, right? So tactics have not been an issue in this game yet. This has all been about decisions about... this is all about battles that will happen in the future. These players are trying to win a battle that may or may not happen in the future, right? So Mana is getting a bunch of blink stalkers, and what's the idea? What's the tactical idea behind this? Well, blink stalkers are good because you can micro them, certainly, but you can also retreat very easily, which enables you to be more active and more aggressive with your units than you would usually be able to be. You can just get out of there if things aren't quite going your way. Now here, he's going to move up here, and he does not have vision of the top of this ramp, right? He doesn't see any units up here. He can't shoot. He can't do anything. Nani, unfortunately, is you can see on move command, so he might have been thinking about pushing out now with the one immortal. So he's actually not going to get the initial volley off that he wanted. The result is that this stalker gets into trouble pretty quickly. Look at that, instantly reduced to very low hit points. And Mana, let's see what Mana does. Freaks out, does do a pretty good job jumping back there. But hold on, let's see exactly what happened there. So one thing to notice, or one thing to know rather, is that Immortals are ridiculously good against Stalkers. And the reason for this is Immortals, look at this, 20 damage versus Armored, 50. That's a big increase in damage. And if you actually look at how much pain they can go through before dying, a Stalker is actually about the same strength as a Zealot, despite the fact that the Zealot is cheaper. So Stalkers are already a little bit fragile for their cost, and then they get this 150% damage bonus. Immortals do. Yeah. By the way, an Immortal 10 damage, a Stalker 10 damage, or sorry, an Immortal 20 damage, a Stalker 10 damage. Immortals, except for this bonus, Immortals are almost exactly the same as 2 Stalkers. They're the same cost, they're the same supply. Interesting little equation to make there. Of course, they are slower, and they have that bonus versus Armored. Otherwise, very similar to Stalkers. Very similar. So, okay, walking up here, right. First initial shot, and then he's going to blink a few back. And, okay, so Mana did make a profit there, right? He killed 1 Stalker. Took a lot of damage in this one, and now he can leave, right? Unfortunately, his second blink actually puts his initial weakened Stalker facing his opponent. So, ends up being an even exchange. Too bad. Couple missteps there by both players, but it ended up being completely even. They both lost 1 Stalker. Okay. Pylon going down here. Whenever you think there might be a battle in an area as Protoss, try to get a pylon pretty close to that spot. It will make a huge difference when you can warp in units as the battle is going on. That's a really, really, really big deal. Notice he's going to move these Stalkers around the map. He's probably looking for spotter pylons. And look, there's one here. He's not going to find it because he's going to the wrong place. But cool idea. Nice way to get an advantage. Excuse me. Looking for free pylons. And so nice. Oh, something just died. So I'm actually going to go try to figure out what that was. Oh, it must have been this scouting dude. Oops, they cross each other's paths, and he's going to go up this way, but yeah, okay. Another use of blink. You can sort of catch stuff real easy. Anyway, so getting these pylons around is very nice. Well, I guess I might call that a tactic, right? What's going on in the strategic department, by the way? And I have been missing this for a little while. Let's see. So, Twilight Council for Nani. Interesting. He's going to match his opponent's blink with his own blink. Kind of cool idea. On the other hand, Mana has gotten a robotics facility, so he's going to match his opponent's robotics tech with his own robotics tech. And you see he's getting an observer out first. Any observers out for Nani? No. Wait, yes. Sorry. He's got one following his army around. Why would you do this? Well, if you're going to make one observer, usually you should keep it with your army. It's a little hard when you're stuck in your base like this to know whether your opponent's going for example, DTs, right? He knows that Mana got the Twilight Council, so it's very possible that Mana actually went for DTs, and having this observer with your army is nice. Plus, you can try to pick off opponent's observers if you see them. Something else you can do with Blink Stalkers. Interestingly enough, spotter pylons made for both players. Nani is going to make a scouting zealot and send it over this way. I think he really just wants to know what his opponent is doing, but I guess he doesn't want to make an observer, and he doesn't want to send this observer too far in case of a DT rush. Now Mana's observer is out and looking around. Oh no, that zealot is definitely dead meat. So still no real battles have occurred, right? A couple units lost here and there. Nani moving out now that his blink is done. Oh, and look at that. Ignoring the fight for the moment. Robotics Bay going down for Mana. The best way to explain this kind of transition, a Robotics Bay, pretty fast Robotics Bay, right? On one base, already tons of tech up, right? I mean,